All right, all right. Good morning. Good morning. It's good to see everybody. I'm glad the time changed. I hope I didn't miss anyone, but we're done with the time changes. I appreciate your flexibility as always. Welcome to the Market Watch Group midweek check-in. It's actually kind of late week check-in because we only have one more day tomorrow. So keep that in mind as you're building your trades, as you're looking at your trades. Because you have a long weekend. We're not going to meet Friday afternoon. We're going to meet Thursday afternoon, 3:15 p.m. Then we're going to meet later at 8:30 p.m. for our options class as we transition to debit spreads. We talked about credit spreads yesterday. So if you've missed it and you're trying to get into the options, remember that we work in a very specific flow. We start with buying options, then we move to selling options, then we combine them for spreads. That's what we got into. We started by doing credit spreads. Now we're going to move to debit spreads. Then we're going to move to time spreads, and then we're going to move to advanced spreads. We'll make sure that we really cover the Greeks in great detail, and then that should give you, with the application sessions, enough that you can play, that you can paper trade and practice and play with it and refine it. Figure out which strategies make sense to you and start refining them. Let's dive in. Here's the disclaimers. As always, here's the agenda. We'll look at today's opening analysis, the opening range, what it means to us. We're bullish. We're in a setup. We're just waiting for confirmation. We'll take a peek at the market posture to see if we think anything's going to change. Did we get it right this week? Is it going to improve? Is it going to decline? What we think is going to happen there. We are meeting on Easter. I forgot. I mean, it's easy. We're not going to change anything up, so hopefully that works. From a time standpoint, I've got 5 college kids coming to my house. I'll have a brisket that's going to be sitting in the oven overnight, and then lunchtime. So, anyways, I forgot to mention the Sunday meeting, but we're just going to leave that unchanged. We'll talk about mindset for open trades. We'll look at the list of trades and see setups and finish with the trading plan section of the week. Let's get into it. So here's the opening range, right? There's my 20 minutes right there. It was a pretty tight opening range. And then what? And then we broke to the downside. Bam, bam, bam. So now we're still holding on. Yes, got it. Good morning. I forgot to say good morning to everyone. Good morning, Bob. Good morning, Perry. Good morning to you, Michael. Hosting a family reunion for about 20, so you won't make it. I get it. I get to pick up my son. I didn't see my son for spring break, but I'll pick him up tonight from the airport. He'll fly in for Easter. Very nice. We broke the opening range to the downside. Now we're kind of seeing if it's going to hold up. It's got work to do. The buyers have work to do. Can they do it to get to the second half of the day? Let's see what this means in context. So you can see contextually that puts us in the flag, right? If I draw, my drawing tools, if I draw this consolidation flag, we're right in it. We would need to get back up and then get an update today. That. Maybe we get that in the second half, right? Maybe we do get that in the second half of the day. But as of right now, we don't have it yet. We're watching. And by the end of the day, we may still just be firmly in this. It could be back. We could end up back down here. And I would still just be thinking, hey, we're still in this consolidation. We haven't had any unnecessary volume, unneeded volume. So, the butterfly should be doing just fine. Yeah. Got it. Okay. From a posture standpoint, we keep talking about this. This isn't going to change for quite some time. So long term still looks good. Short term, it's as is. Nothing's changed. We hit a new high last week, and we scored it a quarter of a point for that. And now we're just kind of watching. Right now, we don't have anything. Right? We don't have anything. So yeah, short term, it's going to stay the same. Volume, it's going to stay the same. I would expect. We did get in a volume on Friday, but it didn't move enough. So we're not really worried about that. And let's go look at the VIX. We'll go look at the VIX for today. Now, this is a tough one because, you know, theoretically, we're still kind of moving up. If you were to just connect these dots, this is what we're doing. We did start up here, but then we ended up back down. And so we're just sort of moving up here. So I would say that this thing could even go a little bit more to the upside, but as long as we stay underneath this and roll over, we're going to be fine. It looked like it was going to roll over here, to be fair. Doesn't D only move at opening, not intraday? What is D in that regard? I'm not sure I understand the question, Michael. Sorry. I might have mentioned something and then day setting. Like the opening range, you mean? On chat. Yeah, I'm not sure actually. Oh, on chart. Oh no, if your chart setting is daily, it will fluctuate constantly throughout the day. So if I pull up this here and you look, you can actually watch this thing's ticking here, right? And so, this is what happens is you would consider that to be a live candle. That candle is live. It's not confirmed, which is why we talk about like, hey, if you're looking at a daily candle and you look at it in the opening range, that's dangerous. That's dangerous to trade because you're trading a candle of confirmation despite being, 20 minutes into a 6.5 hour candle. This candle is live all day. It will fluctuate all day. And as such, yeah, that's a great call out. I'm glad you asked that question. So we're going to be watching this and it'll just sit and tick around. It's just live. It's not. Now, if we get to the last hour of the day, then I'm like, okay, now it's more confirmed. But if you're ever looking to trade intraday, we need more than just the daily chart. We need to go to an hourly chart and get confirmation from there, because then we have actual confirmation. Otherwise, yeah, you're using a chart that's not relevant yet. So, okay. All right. Let's keep going. Let's get to the watch list, shall we? Posture looks good. How does the watch list look? Oh, look at Apple. We already talked about Apple. Apple looks like it's trying to make a move. It hit support and it's trying to move. That's an interesting one. Yeah, it's coming off of lows, without a doubt. But there's definitely something there that I think is interesting. AIG just kind of grinding along. AMD, I'll tell you right now, I am not all that bullish on chips right now. I'm much more bullish on I would say software like Microsoft. I'm more bullish on communication services like Meta. I'm more bullish on financials and industrials. A lot of times, people get caught just like always wanting to trade the same thing where they're like, chips, chips, chips. Yeah, they can be great, but they can also go through some interesting periods where they don't do much of anything. So let's just you know play it somewhat cautiously for a minute. Intel is doing okay today. I still don't like the way it looks that much. Amazon's kind of grinding. AXP looks good, but still in setup mode. No confirmation, right? A lot of stocks in confirm or in setup mode. They're in these pullbacks, and we're waiting to see when are we convinced that it's actually turned. This is pinching, right? But has it turned yet? I think we're still looking for more bullishness out of financials, more bullishness out of industrials. Boeing, okay, so I don't think so. But there's a chance that Boeing comes down here and it doesn't drop all the way back down. And then it turns. Right? And then it turns. Um, Typical for March. Yeah, March seasonally is a good time, without a doubt. Without a doubt. March has seasonally a good amount of opportunity for us. Okay, let's keep looking. If I could get my thing to erase. There we go. Added Bank of America looks strong, right? There's a lot of different financials that look strong. You can kind of take your pick. Yep. Any number of financials, just like any number of industrials, can satisfy what we're looking for. Okay. BLDR setting up, a lot of setups. City still grinding higher. Caterpillar setting up, getting ready to grow. I mean, just right there, just with a couple of financials and a couple of industrials, you've got some great opportunities developing. CMG, it's a little iffy. I still want to watch this thing a little bit more and see what happens with that. We don't need to rush, right? We don't need to rush it. Okay, let's keep looking. Capital One financials. Oil looking a little overbought, but not much. If you're in oil, you might be looking at taking profits and then preparing for another oil trade. That's what I would say. Costco kind of flat. CrowdStrike kind of flat. You can see both of those are really struggling. A lot of similarities with how those are moving sideways right now. Delta's looking bullish. So is, look at DHI, home builders. New high, pulling back. Home builders look strong. The Dow looks pretty strong. Ford. I'm a little iffy on Ford now that it hit that 13 level again. I think there's better. Fastenal looks great, right? It's ready to go, just waiting for a setup. GBTC, no. GE, trying to turn. Gold. setting up for, I don't know, maybe something. It's a little overextended, it feels. Google, I'm waiting for the pullback. Home Depot looks good. If I'm going to do a discretionary, that's probably the one. It had a weird hook last time, but still looking at it. IBM still looks like a setup. Intel is popping today, but it just feels like it's a sinking ship right now. It's really struggling to stay buoyant. IWM. IWM. What do we think about this one? I think it looks bullish still. I think that right now the sellers have the floor and they're not doing much with it. Where's my drawing tool here? Kind of looks like this. Sellers losing enthusiasm indeed, right? Which makes us think, well, was it selling pressure or was it just a little bit of profit taking? And the less we see of it, the more we start thinking, you know what? That seems like profit taking more than anything, right? So yeah, I mean that looks all right. Okay. Let's keep looking. JP Morgan financials coming up next. How does that look? Flaggish, bullish. A lot of these things have been looking bullish and doing well, and we keep expecting them to continue doing well. What else? Oh, this is another one that I'm really looking for here. Meta. It's not there right now, right? Today it's still down. But it is looking good. No volume, ready to go. Discretionary looks is towards the bottom, even though you mean DHI? Yeah, home builders is tough because I really consider home builders more industrial, but you know, it is yeah, I mean I could see why you would, you know, look at that with some concern. Um okay, what else? Okay. Um but I am thinking Home Depot along those same lines. Right? I am thinking about Home Depot and I'm like, well, how do we see Home Depot in that regard? So there is some concern there for sure. Yes. Meta good. Morgan Stanley. Add that to the list of financials. So we did add a couple of financials here recently. Microsoft, boom, looks great. Right? Microsoft looks great. Netflix, grinding like Amazon. I'm a little iffy on these, right? Nvidia, I told you I'm not big on chips right now. I think chips are in a little bit of a struggle. A little bit of a chip struggle. No need to force it. Nvidia is definitely the leader of the pack. So if Nvidia is pulling back, the rest of them are going to struggle to some extent. Yeah, let's see if Nvidia can make a higher low. If Nvidia takes out, what's this bottom here? If Nvidia takes out 860, it might fall all the way back to 800 from there, and then we'll see. Possibly putting in a double top. Maybe this thing got overblown. Leader of the pack. There you go. SMCI looks okay too, Sandy, but we'll see that one here in a second. I'm still iffy on that. I'm not iffy on Picard. Picard's Industrials. It looks very strong. There's PLTR. PLTR in that same kind of chip technology, AI vein. Struggling to get higher. Isn't that always a struggle? QQQ. Pulling back a little bit. You're not wrong, Steven. He said, I'm having a hard time reading PLTR. Yeah, look at it. It's kind of a weird, complex head and shoulders. I don't know. Double shoulder on the left and a head. Been one of your best for covered calls. I can imagine it's got good volatility. And the stock hasn't dropped out, but yeah, I mean, flat's good enough for covered calls, right? Here's SMCI, same kind of a thing though, right, Sandy? You can see it popped, and it's now like maybe trying to move into a triangle, possibly, where it's got a lower high, but it still kind of has higher lows. So yeah, some of these are in weird consolidations. This is coming down, but this still seems to be going up. And we're like, if it comes down and gives a higher low, I would consider trading for the breakout of the triangle. Then if it fails to break out of the triangle, then you could just close the trade. Volatility is extremely high. Absolutely. Options are off the charts. Tons of premium in there, which means there's a lot of expectation that this is going to move, right? Here is the SPY. Let's go take a look at our movement. And you can see at some point, this has to V for us to think it's going to come back up and possibly give us some kind of a bullish signal later in the day. Right? It needs to give us something like this, where it gets back up, then gives us the higher low. Then from there, it's got to work its way back into the opening range. Then it's got to break the opening range. So it's got a lot of work to do. And now we're only an hour in. But I think we all agree that the likelihood is waning the longer it takes for the recovery. Could it come back and give us like a doji for today? Yeah, absolutely. I think we all agree that's certainly could be in the cards, right? Are dojis good? Dojis are indecision, but they're good in context. So if the sellers are selling and then it's a doji, if it's selling indecision, who's indecision? If it was sellers on the floor, if the sellers have the floor and then we get dojis, that means that the selling is stopping and we expect buyers to come. So in that regard, where the doji sits contextually can lead us to have a positive implication with it. But in and of itself, the doji is just indecision. It's just a pause. But a pause is good if what had been happening was selling. Okay, let's get rid of these lines and we'll keep moving. Okay. Okay. Taiwan Semiconductor, there's another one. I like the stock, but what's it doing? All of semiconductors are a bit of a struggle happening right now. So yeah, we want to make sure that you know. Okay, don't don't force because you like the group, right? Here's the VIX. The VIX is just kind of sitting right now. I think we could still grind a little higher, and then we could see this thing drop into the 12s. Waste management starting to move. That's industrials. Walmart maybe thinking about it. That's consumer non-discretionary. Biotech is kind of flat. Biotech is kind of flat. Materials just won't stop. Look at that. Up 0.99%. Yeah, that's not helpful to us. We don't love that. Communication services looks ready, but still waiting for the trigger. Energy pulling back, but not by much. Financials looks ready to go. Industrials looks ready to go. Technology looks like it's close, just waiting for the trigger. Staples is kind of flat, but trying to turn. Utilities, healthcare and consumer discretionary are both a bit iffy. I don't know. Maybe consumer discretionary is trying to look a little better, right? Trying to look a little bit better here. We'll see. Took a nice gain in XOM. Love it. Love it. Love it. Yeah, here's the deal. So I don't know that today's gonna be the day, which is fine. Tomorrow's a great day. Tomorrow we're meeting. If it triggers early in the day, right, then you may have something ready to go. If not, we may have it. I'm hopeful. We'll see what happens. That we may even have our first alert that comes out. I've been practicing with some things. I want to make sure that I'm that they're ready to go. I was told that I'll send an email. I think you have to opt into the text. I got a notification about something about that, but anyways. Questions about anything on the watch list? Yeah, just be patient. Don't force. We're in a good place. I think we're ready for a nice little trading window. I still think we'll have 2 trading windows before we get to the summer. I think we'll have butterflies and calendars and iron condors right before we get to the summer. So you'll have plenty of sideways strategies at your disposal. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. I'm glad that you're gonna be hanging around, Stephen. I'm glad they said that. To be fair, I was just gonna on the side be like, keep coming. I'm a little less formal though, so you know, what are you gonna do? All right, let's talk about our trading plans. Let's talk about our trading plans, shall we? Routines. If it wasn't for Easter weekend, I think we would switch to Discord full time next week. But because of Easter weekend and I'm gonna have company, I need another week. But pretty soon we're gonna be full time on Discord. No more Zoom. So there'll be a lot more facilitation of chats and interactions, and that's where we'll go to for meetings and everything else. Oh, Press isn't here today, Bob, but he said his product thing went well. Yeah. Definitely. Okay. We are on section 5. Routines. It's an important one, section 5, right? We really want to make sure that your routines are concrete. When you sit down in the morning to trade, did I say no more Zoom? Yes. No more Zoom. That's what I'm working towards. No more links in Zoom, but everything will be done Um, everything will be done in Discord. Yeah, I think it'll be good. Um, yeah, there's some real great capabilities from Discord. And so yeah, we're just trying to reduce the friction of remembering like the links and am I on the right one and it's changing and etc. So that's the that's the thought process. And I'm thinking we'll be able to make that work. Daily routine before market open. During market hours, I have two. I like to come in about an hour after the market, and I like to come in for the last hour just to kind of take a look at things. So you know, those are the times for me. Evenings, you know, after market close, when do you come in and you know, analyze things? Then you have your weekend routines, and that's certainly an important one as well. Typically, we're doing those around our Sunday when we're doing things like trade logs, we're doing market forecasting, we're doing watch list maintenance, things like that. Okay. Questions? Well, I'm normally going long and taking too long, but this time we seem to have reached the end of our agenda. So I'm going to open it up. What happens if option is making money in the intra hours? Well, I mean, we can't options can theoretically gain or I mean if the stock is moving in the early hours because of news or something like that, there's nothing you can do with the option until the market's open for it. So uh until you can trade it, there's nothing you can do. Right now, Steven says he's waiting for trades to set up. That's exactly right. Waiting for trades to set up. Well, I would say our trades, we have a lot of setups. Now what we're waiting for really is more triggers. Are we going to see those triggers start to come? Yes. Okay. If you haven't done it, Stephen put a post on Discord trying to get some discussion going. Go take a look. I said look at market 1 hour before end of 1 hour uh 1 hour before. I look at the market so you're saying my during market hours times? Is that what you're asking about, Michael? My before market obviously is before. In the end, and I'll be able to see what's happening, but I can't do anything then, but just kind of prepare. Uh, I'm usually going about an hour after the market opens. So my personal trading time when I'm like looking to see if there's any trades. 9:30 is when the market opens. So around 10:30 to 11, I spend about a half an hour going in and looking to see what's going on, etc. Then I kind of walk away. I don't just sit and stare at it. I mean, I might take a peek. But then I'll go and I look at it at the end of the day. Intraday trading, yeah, intraday trading is a very different ball game, right? Now you're talking 5-minute charts. And yeah, you can buy the option and 20 minutes later, an hour later, sell it. It's going to be a very different set of rewards and risks. You can still have positive reward to risk ratio, but intraday trading is a whole different ballgame. I'll tell you this, I'm not anti. I don't find that in a market like this, it's worth it. If let's say late summer, we have a nasty correction Or we go into a bear market at some point. I'll day trade in that for sure. Absolutely. I'll day trade in that. Because when the VIX gets above 25, yeah, there's a lot more opportunity intraday, and swing trading is going to be a lot harder. So certainly that creates opportunities for day trading. What do I do? I'm gonna stick to things like SPY, Apple, Google, Meta, things that move, things that have high volume, lots of liquidity in their options. I'm gonna be looking at those things, and I'm gonna move my chart down to a 5-minute chart, and I'm gonna trade off of that. So if you're staying with the group for a while, there will come a time when day trading is dictated to us by market conditions. And when that happens, we will answer the call. Yeah. That might be maybe here's what I'm thinking. Let me know what you guys think about this. At the end of April, we're going to finish the Options 2.0 Foundations class. Okay. Now, instead of just kicking right back into trading foundations and starting another cycle, what I was thinking is we would take a month for our Tuesday, Thursdays, take a month and do some of the things we've been talking about, right? Where we do the experiment, where we do like a trading results day. Like we just basically have, we do a day trade day where we talk about how I would day trade. And it's just, they're not foundational classes, but they're classes that we've been talking about that we want to do. So what do you guys think about that? Does that seem like a reasonable? We have 8. Let's see how many classes we would have. Not in April. This would be in May. No, let's see. It would be it'd be in May. March and April is options. May, we would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 classes. Oh, I think we should do it. Yes, 9 classes. Some of them will take 2. So if we have two that take 2, that would be 4 of the 9, 5, 7 topics, 6 or 7 topics, 1 or 2 days each topic. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm gonna put together an agenda. This would be pretty cool. Okay. Anything else? Remember, tomorrow we are meeting in the afternoon instead of Friday in the afternoon because the market is closed. So we will meet tomorrow. I'll send that. I'll make sure I put the reminder in the email. Tomorrow at 3:15 p.m. Eastern time. Then Sunday, standard normal time, 11 a.m. We'll have our Easter extravaganza session. It should be a lot of fun. All right. Well, I'm glad everyone could make it. Thanks for the accommodation for the time change, your flexibility. Yes, I'm excited to pick my boy up today. It should be good. If I don't see you tomorrow, I'll see you on Sunday. Have a great rest of your day. And as always, happy trading.